Today's video, we're talking about tips for making your patina look something like this, I guess. It's one of the questions I get asked all the time is, how do you make your patina look like that? And for the most part, I like to leave it natural as much as I possibly can, which is what I've got going on here with the door and some of the other parts on this truck. But sometimes that's just not an option, and sometimes even the natural stuff that's there needs a little bit of help to make it look better. So that's what today's video is about. We're going to make the hood look like this instead of what it used to look like, which is this. And we're going to do it super cheap and easy, and really you don't even need much skill to be able to do it.
Welcome back for another Tips and Tools Tuesday with your host Anthony Bronner from Hardcore Fab.
All right, before we get started here, I want to give you guys a kind of a quick, real deep, close look of what this thing looks like. You can see there's a bunch of silver on there that somebody has put on there, or gray of some sort. It looks like they kind of just brushed it on. Probably had the whole hood that color, or some whole truck that color, I guess, at one point or another. But most of that's already gone now. It's probably a 50-year-old paint job with a brush. So a lot of it didn't stick around, but it left a really cool looking design and kind of patina on this truck. There's a few other colors that are kind of popping through there a little bit. And then, of course, we've got the whole area there that we've reworked and everything that has bare metal. So now you can kind of see that. You can kind of see over here on this side where I've already done some paint on it. This actually has got most of that silver still popping through, and then there's also a few other little colors here and there that are coming in. There is actually some rust in there and some spots still. I'm not trying to take away any of that. We're not trying to cover any of that up. Like I said before, we're just trying to add a little bit of color to this thing so that the hood will match the rest of the body a little bit better. So now that you guys got an idea of what that looks like, let's get started. First thing you need to do on a project like this is clean it. Now, I used a red scuff pad. You don't necessarily have to. You could probably get away with just a rag and some soapy water, but there was a lot of little loose debris on this, so I wanted to knock all that off before I got started. So I went ahead and did that, and then I just blew it off with an air hose, and then cleaned it with some soap and water and a paper towel, and then I was good to go. So I did that on the whole entire hood before I sprayed that side over there, so this side's already got that done. So now I'm at the point where I can actually start putting some color on here. For color, all I am using is just some regular old rattle can. This is even actually a gloss black. It's not going to be glossy when it goes on. It'll be kind of glossy when it goes on, I guess, but it won't be gloss black, because I am going to then be taking an old glove and rubbing on all of the paint right after I put it on there. That does a couple of things. The first thing that does is that knocks off that gloss that we were just talking about. And the next thing that it does is it actually knocks off any paint that's in any of the high areas on the hood. So all these parts like this here that have a lot of the little strokes from the brush or whatever from when they did that first paint job, all of that stuff is going to stay. You're also going to get a bunch of the rust and other pieces that are still on here that are popping up a little bit. All those are going to come popping back through the black too. And that helps give this thing a really cool effect and keep some of the original patina. So I've got my garage door open, so you guys are probably going to hear a little bit of traffic from the road. I apologize about that, but I want to be able to get some of the fumes out of here since I'm not going to be wearing a mask right now, so I can still be able to talk to you guys. So part of this that I want to do right here in the front, I'm going to do this to begin with because I want to be able to actually show you guys some of the distance that I'm using to be able to spray this paint on there. This is not going to be like a normal paint job where you want to get your regular 6 to 8 inches away and nice, even, smooth coats. What I'm actually going to be doing with this is I'm actually just going to be fogging it on from quite a ways away, and then whatever hits, I'm going to then immediately take this glove and try to wipe off. And that's going to leave paint down in most of these areas, like I was saying before, that are all lower, and wipe it off the stuff on the top. So just do a little bit of it here and show you guys what that looks like. Well, before we go any farther, I'll give you guys a look at what that looks like with just that little bit there done. You can see where it ends really quickly. All I'm really covering up is kind of that rust in the low spots, like I said. So we still have all of our original patina, just some of the rust spots are covered up. Still have some cool looking green there, all of the brush strokes and everything. This right here is kind of cool. That's a whole different effect that kind of gets where the grinder marks are at from me working that part of the metal. So that is a cool effect just in itself. Somebody could use that if they wanted to on numerous things. So we can take the same paint rubbing technique and apply it a little different and get a completely different look and feel when you're looking at it up close on your paint job. And you can see here where I've taken in the Jeep project that we did here a while back, and I've actually sprayed the paint directly onto my hand into the glove, and then rather than having it on the car and rubbing it off, we're actually rubbing the paint on at that point. And basically that's just leaving the paint then on all of the high spots of the Jeep. So any of the low spots at that point are still going to be kind of rusty and still leave some of the prior patina that was on there before. Well, thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video, and hopefully you'll do me a favor and leave me a like on the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.